Welcome to my workshop again. Today I'm taking care of this Argon 18 time trial or triathlon bike. I have already done some upgrades to it, but in this video I'm going to focus on the bottom bracket. Sorry, as standard, this bike comes with an FSA steel ceramic bottom bracket. Let me just zoom on. Yeah, there we go. And I didn't really want to change that at first, but when I took the chain off, I noticed that the cranks have a really hard time spinning, and the preload was not over tightened either, so I had to look at the bearings, and I found that these are some really poor quality bearings. One side is just about okay, but on the other side as you can see, I can hardly turn it with my finger, and that's for sure not what you want on a high-end bike in a long-distance triathlon, when every watt of savings counts for literally minutes on your course time. So I decided to get on board Kogel bearings, because I found that ceramic speed is really expensive. When it comes to these products, Kogel is much more affordable, and I was curious about the quality. And this bike uses a BB86 style pressed with bottom bracket, which means you need some special tools to make it work. Well, first you need this thing. I have shown you in an earlier video. This is a Park 2 BBT90. It's essentially a bearing removal tool for 24mm spindles, bearings that use, or bottom brackets that use 24mm spindles. It's a very simple thing. You just thread through your bottom bracket, and then this end will expand at the bearing, and then you can hit it as hard as you want. And it's a really safe way of removing the bearings, and it's not an expensive tool either. It's around 40-50 euros, I think. So if you have a bottom bracket like this, then definitely a thing to have. Then for the installation, you need something like this. It's a bearing press tool. As you can see, I have all kinds of things here, but I just need the one that I have here now. Of course, you can have a homemade one, or you can just tap it in gently with the mallet, but this is the best way, by using proper drift to make sure the bearings are aligned with their internal diameters and you don't damage your frame. For the installation, I'm also going to use this product. This is some installation grease, and it prevents, well, it's called shut-up grease apparently. It prevents creaking and corrosion, so I'm going to use that. Then I have some bearing grease, of course, but I'm not going to use that. The bearings are already greased. Now Kogel sells two types from every model of their bottom bracket, and they differ in seals. So this one is the version with road seals. So these have lighter seals and right reaction, but they need more maintenance in poor conditions. But I think for a triathlon bike, that's okay. You can see that the sleeves themselves and the bearing housings, they're all finely machined aluminum, look really nice and cool. The bearings run, well, they're properly greased, so not super light, but no play in there, and it's super smooth. Actually, the bottom bracket manages to stay loose despite the fact that how tight it is. There's still some play in it sideways, so poor quality definitely. Then another thing I wanted to mention with these Kogel bearings, that you also get a washer for SRAM GXP. As you may know, Shimano uses 24mm axles all the way through, but the GXP axle is just 22mm on the non-drive side, but Kogel are kind enough to include this nice machine spacer in there, so you can basically change your cranks or the type of crank anytime you want. And if I compare this to ceramic speed and their shitty plastic spacers and sleeves, and that you don't get a GXP conversion kit, then definitely thumbs up for Kogel. So let's install this bearing, press it in, and then we'll see how smooth it runs. Okay, so as the next step, I cleaned out the bottom bracket area. I'm going to press the bearings and all the surfaces. And I used standard brake cleaner for that. There was some residue mounting grease, but I don't want to mix the two, so this is what I've done. Make sure you're using or wearing gloves when you're doing this, because splinters, carbon and steel splinters from the bearing itself may be located here, so be careful. For this bike, the fit was quite tight. I had to hammer it quite hard to get the bearings out, so that will not be an issue. So I'm just gonna apply some, well, not some, a generous layer of this shut-up grease in there. But if you have a problem with your bike, in a way that the bearings get loose, then I recommend using this thing. This is Loctite 641. It's a bearing fixation compound, and it works for me. It gets rid of the creaking and the looseness, and just creates a tight seal between the bearing and the frame. So top tip there, Loctite 641. Okay, so now I'm going to grease this up and press the bearings in. Now I have the bottom bracket greased up with this super thick waterproof grease. It actually feels really cool, extremely thick, and it should keep the water out. It's certified even for salt water, so that says a lot. I have also chosen my rifts for this application. These are 22mm on one side and 24 on the other, so again Shimano and SRAM GXP for cranks. And I have noticed one more cool thing about the Kogel cups. The cups themselves are identical from left to right, there's no real difference. But this spacer is designed in a really cool way. This is actually directional. So you got the right side and the left side. You pop the right side in. That's fixed. It has a lip there, so it's pressed snugly against it. But then on the left side, you have an O-ring, which goes, in which the cup can go to different widths. So basically this means that even if you have a wider bottom bracket, you can still have a proper seal on there, because some systems just hang loosely on there, so water can get in. But this is really well thought out. So now it's time for pressing these bad boys in. I have the press lined up now. I imagine it would be a really tricky job without it, because this bottom bracket fits real tight. I have aligned the logos nicely on both sides, so now I can start pressing the bearings in gently. Make sure that everything goes right. It's really important to have these proper drifts for the bearing you're using to get them straight, so you either don't damage your frame and that the bearings are properly aligned, so your crank goes spinning smoothly and without creaks. My bottom bracket installation is now complete. You can't see too much now, but fits in. I put this cheeky ceramic speed sticker on there, but it's Kogel really. They don't include any stickers here, but it's ceramic, so I guess that's alright. The crank doesn't rock in any direction. The fit is really precise, and it doesn't need too much force to get in there, so the tolerance on the bearing is spot on. So overall, really high quality product right there. Thumbs up for Kogel ceramic bearings. I'm looking forward to using them in other builds. Good price, great quality, great service. So really good product overall. I rate it definitely, and it spins. You can feel it right here that it's just super smooth. Even though it's not worn in yet, not broken in, and it's packed full of grease, so that will only get better over time. Okay, so that's all about my bottom bracket installation, with a guide, what tools you need, what supplies you need for a professional install. I hope you find it helpful. If you like to see more technical tips, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see high-end bikes like this one. It's all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.